This conference will now be recorded.
Previously, you have in you have missed about the graviton instances. Graviton instances you have missed. So basically, the graviton instances will going to be reduced 40% of cost actually. 40% of cost. So which means this is an ARM based instances, ARM based instances, right? ARM based instances here. ARM based instances here. So here the binaries for the ARM, right? The binaries for the ARM is sticky actually. That means the binaries for the ARM base, right? The binaries for the ARM base will going to be an sticky to find out. So that means it is difficult to install any kind of packages, or it is difficult to a respective application, or it difficult to enable your respective application which is working on AMD processor, right? This is basically which was newly introduced in the ARM actually. We newly introduced in the AWS. ARM was newly introduced actually. So all the application is not yet to be tested actually. They are not certified. All your application are going to be right. All your applications are going to be working actually. This is newly introduced actually. Even Apple has newly introduced this ARM ARM based instances because of high performances. The ARM will help you high throughput to provide high throughput, right? High throughut. The ARM will be helpful to you to provide the high throughput. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. So now here it will provide the high throughput, but the disadvantage here is all your new application was not tested actually. These are not tested. All your new applications were not tested yet. So still they are performing the R&D, but it will reduce the 40% of cost when compared to the AMD based instances, right? This is one main important thing that you guys need to understand. Right? So now here instance options. Now here instance options. Instance options here. So how many types of instance options are there, guys? We already discussed about this. Instance options. How many types of instance options are there? Guys, how many instance options are there? We discussed actually on our Friday section. Jiva?
It's a 3.
Okay. What are those?
On-demand, reserved,
on-demand instances. The reserved instances. Then
spot instances.
Yeah, reserved instances and spot instances. Right, spot instances. Right. Now we'll discuss briefly about this one. So now you guys are familiar with which kind of instance type you guys are going to be choose. Right. When to choose memory, when to choose, right? When to choose compute, when to choose general purpose, and when to choose accelerated, when to choose graviton, and when to choose the storage optimized instances. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts here? This is a damn sure interview question for your respective solution architect. Let me know if you have any questions here. So whenever the interviewer asks about which kind of instance types you guys are going to be using here, you need to ready to answer with that. Am I clear on this?
Yeah.
right? So now here we'll have a discussion about with regards to the right regards to the respective on-demand instance, on-demand spot instances and reserved instances. Guys, listen very carefully. Actually, very important thing. That's your interview question. What is the main difference between the on-demand, reserved, and the spot instances? Right. So here you have three options. One is with on-demand instances. One is with on-demand instances, and second one is with the spot instances. Right. Second one is with the spot instances, and the third one is with reserved instances. And third one is with the reserved instances. Right. Reserved instances, on-demand instances, spot instances, and reserved instances. Like on-demand instances, the reserved instances, and spot instances. Right. You have three instances here. Right. So now on-demand instances is the high priority one. On-demand is the high priority one. High priority instances. On-demand is the high priority instances. Right. On-demand is the high priority instances. And secondly, this is high in cost actually. High cost actually. Right. This is going to be a high cost actually. On demand is the high priority, and this is high cost actually. Right. High cost actually. And the requesters, let's say suppose there are 10 requests that comes into the respective AWS bucket. Out of 10, there are 6 requests, right? 6 requests, or right, there are 6 requests, or going to be right. There are 6 requests, or going to be right with regards to the on demand. With regards to the on demand, there are 6 requests, or going to be with regards to the on demand. So then in that case, right, then in that case, they will going to be given the priority to the on-demand instances. They will going to give the priority to the on-demand instances. They're going to be given the priority to the on-demand instances. Right? That is one main important thing. That is one main important thing. So there are high in cost. When there is 10 requests, out of 10, they have 6 requests with regards to the on-demand. There are 6 requests with regards to the on-demand. So they're going to be give the priority to the respective 6 request actually. They're going to give the priority to the 6 request actually, which is belongs to on-demand actually. And there are high in cost. There are high in cost. So now here, reserved instances, or you guys need to give a commitment to the AWS. So at least starting from the 12 months to at least 36 months, right? The maximum is 36 months, the minimum is 12 months. That means at least from 1 year to at least 36, right? 36 months. At least 1 year to 36 months here. At least 1 year to 36 months here. So that is one main important thing, right? That is one main important thing. So now here, the respective, right? The respective payment options here, right? The respective payment options here, right? The respective payment options here will have a no upfront or partial upfront or the full upfront. No upfront or the partial upfront and the full upfront. Partial upfront and full upfront, right? And full upfront and full upfront. No upfront and partial upfront and full upfront here. Full upfront. So no upfront in the sense, right? No upfront in the sense you're not paying any kind of payment to them, right? Monthly wise you are paying to them, For example, for on-demand instances, the instance type of R5 large, the instance type of R5 large, right? The instance type of R5 large, right? R5 large will going to be quoted as $200 per year. Let's consider $200 per year. In the reserved instances, if you choose the no upfront, you will get up to $190. You can save $10 actually, right? In the partial upfront, like kind of an installment actually, right? You will get up to $150, $170. And if you are paying the full upfront, you will get a respective $150 actually. You get a respective $150 actually. So this is one main important $150 actually. This is one main important. So this is one main important thing that you guys need to understand here. Am I clear on this? Any questions? Any doubts? So in the reserved instances, you need to give a commitment of at least 12 months to 36 months. And the payment options are in 3 actually. No upfront, partial upfront, and full upfront. No upfront in the sense you're not going to get much difference between your on-demand instances to reserved instances. Whereas partial upfront, you guys are going to be get a slightly difference actually. When you are into a full upfront, you will get a moderate kind of upfront here. So that's how you guys are going to be creating the respective resources here when you are into reserved instances. Am I clear, guys? Any questions? Any doubts?
So I have a doubt. So there's a 12 months we are purchasing the instant with some partial or full. So after 12 months, so we can change that this option is a partial, no apparent, and full apparent.
Oh, very good question actually. Very good question. So that means if my understanding is correct, so you have already purchased that partial upfront category. In future, if you want to going to upgrade to the full upfront, that is going to be possible.
Okay.
So actually, the thing is, you have other 2 more options in the respective reserved instances. You call this one as a standard as well as convertible actually. Standard in the sense you don't have any option to change the respective purchase option actually, right? If you are stick to R5, you need to stick to R5 only, R5 large only. You don't have any commitment, any kind of strategy to change from the R5 to any kind of M5 in the standard. That means you already committed to them. Whereas there is one more option called convertible. You can change it actually. You can change it actually. Convertible, you can change it actually. Right? In the convertible, you can change it actually. Am I clear on this?
Yeah.
That is one main important. So good question actually. So these are about the reserved instances category. Right? These are about the reserved instances category here. Right?
So we can't break in between, right? So not at all possible. Right?
You can't break actually.
Okay.
If you are an enterprise customer, guys, if you are an enterprise customer to them, you can request your respective tag actually. Right? You can request your respective tag actually. So then he can able to manage. Then he can able to manage. He can able to manage to provide you the necessary, right? He can able to manage to provide the necessary options for you. Right? Am I clear on this?
So is there any difference between the cost of enterprise or normal account and enterprise account?
Costing wise, no. Costing wise, no. But billing wise, if you are an enterprise customer like Netflix, that is the meaning here. You are a long-term customer, and your application is more well-versed in the market. You got my point. You are a long-term customer to the AWS, and you are into well-versed in the respective market here.
So
that is called enterprise actually. Enterprise in the sense, no, actually your billing number is very high when compared to the normal customer. Right?
Okay.
Your billing customer is very high when compared to the normal customer, and you have been with respect to AWS more than a decent amount of time, like 5 years, 6 years, and your application is well versed. in the market.
Okay. So it's not based on the price, right? It's not based on the
No, it's
price
not based
or
upon the price. It's not based upon the price. Your billing
based on
is
the
high
instant.
when compared to other customers, and your application is well versed in the market. That's called
Okay.
an enterprise actually.
So as per my understanding, it's like based on the how many years of contract with AWS, correct?
How many you are with that respect to AWS guys, and how much billing you guys are doing. If you are doing $30,000, it's a huge amount. $30,000 per month, it's a huge amount for them. So in that case, yeah, they definitely provide the respective, right? These kind of options they're going to provide. There is a tag, guys, actually, right? That guy will going to ask you to provide the respective, right? All kind of recommendations. He will going to be manage you, and his complete variable way depending upon you guys, right? That's how the statement will going to be useful for you. Am I clear on this?
Yeah, thank you.
That is called enterprise. So that's all, guys. From this perspective, result instance. But damn sure revision, guys. What is standard? What is convertible? What is no upfront? What is partial upfront? What is full upfront? Right. This is very important actually. And coming to the what is the meaning of refabrication actually? You said high priority. That is, if you are using the both on demand as well as reserved instances, the request will be divided into 6 requests. No, your understanding is wrong, Pramod. Thing is, when there is a 10 request actually, and out of 10 requests, 6 requests are belongs to on demand. They're going to serve first actually. Random 10 requests are there. There is a random of 10 requests. Out of 10, there are 6 requests which are belongs to the on demand actually. Right? There are 6 requests which are belongs to the on demand. So they will serve first to the respective on demand. Rather, they will go with the spot instances. Right? So how the reserved instances work, that I'm going to discuss in the coming section actually. That will I will showcase in the practical. Right? I will showcase in the practical.
One more doubt. So regarding to that uh, demand instance, so is there any per day this much only the demand this AWS is providing for this? For example, I need instantly around 50 to 60 on demand on one spot for to test some application. So there is
Per
I
day,
can available only four. I can see only 10 or 15 I can able to get. Remaining are I don't have. So is there anything AWS will provide, or just I want to understand this, like
no,
how
per
the
day
on demand
wise,
works.
yeah. Per day wise, no, actually. Per day wise, there is no limit. Overall wise, there is a limit actually. As I said
For
earlier, if you want
one
to
user.
increase, yeah, overall wise, yeah, overall wise, there will be a limit actually. Per day wise, there is no limit.
Mhm.
So that means, as I said earlier, right, if you remember the last previous class, if suppose something is going to be not like something is not providing the respective stuff. So the thing is, for your account, there are 100 instances, only the limit. You can create those 100 instances in one day as well. You can utilize that 100 limit in the one day as well. That will be possible actually for you. Per day wise,
Okay.
no. If you increase the 1,000 instances as your limit, if you want to create 1,000 instances, yes, you can do it on one day itself. That's how it's
Mhm.
going to be, right?
Okay. Got it. So AWS wise, there is they can provide at
Yeah,
any
overall
time.
overall limit will going to be there per each and every account actually. If you guys are cross the limit, right? If you guys have crossed the respective equation of the limit, you need to raise a support case to the respective AWS case, right? You need to raise a support case to the respective AWS case. That will be there. And coming to the spot instances even, these spot instances generally AWS guys are going to be aligned with number of free resources actually, because the data center is very used when compared to Azure or GCP, right? So let's say suppose they will have the request from all the customers in the Mumbai region, only 10,000 servers, right? 10,000 servers only they required actually, 10,000 servers. Let's consider from all the Mumbai regions, only 10,000 servers they need to serve their respective customer. But proactively, what these people are going to do here is they're going to be enable more than 25,000 actually. They're going to be enable more than 25,000. Like actual need for the Mumbai data center is only 10,000, but they will going to be enable over 25,000 actually. What these people are going to do is these extra instances, right? These extra instances, all 15,000 instances are going to be converted into spot actually. These 15,000 instances are going to be converted into the spot actually, and they're going to reduce the price, because rather than keeping these extra instances or unused instances, right, without any using of the respective customer, they're going to convert this unused instances into spot, and they're going to be start a betting value for the unused instances. They're going to start a betting value for the unused instances actually. Betting value, you guys know, right? Betting actually. So what is it going to do is per hourly these people are going to be, right, per hourly these people are going to be taken actually $0.5 per hour. $0.5 per hour, right? $0.5 per hour. They start the betting price from $0.5 per hour, right? And when there is a request from the on-demand or the reserved instances, these unused instances, that means spot instances, they remove the hardware from the present existing customer and they're going to be allocated to the on-demand customer, right? What are they going to do? They remove the hardware from the spot customer and they're going to allocate the same hardware from the respective on-demand customer, because on-demand is a major priority for them, right? So even though these unused instances in later point of time they need for the on-demand customer, they remove the respective hardware from the spot customers and they're going to be allocate this hardware to the on-demand customer. They're going to be allocate to the hardware to the on-demand customer here. So that's how spot instruction is going to be work. Those are called spot interruptions. So this strategy is called spot interruptions actually. Yes, you are right, Pawan. You cannot use the spot in the production grade environment because these are having the spot interruption. So when there is a free hardware, right, they can utilize the hardware actually. When there is a free hardware, they can utilize the respective hardware actually. What these people are going to do? The spot interruptions. They remove the hardware from the. They remove the hardware from the spot customers. Spot customers. They remove the hardware from the spot customers and they align the respective hardware. They provide the hardware to the on-demand customer. They provide the same hardware to the on-demand customer when there is a need of the respective on-demand customer. And for the respective customer of the spot, they already agreed with the terms of spot interruptions actually. They already agreed with the terms of spot interruptions actually at any point of time, right? These people are going to be useful for the on-demand action. And moreover, right, and moreover, the spot instances are not going to be applicable for the production environment. Spot instances are not useful for the production environment, production EM, right? Spot instances are useful for the dev as well as QA environment. Dev as well as QA environment. Right? Dev as well as QA environment. So that is one main important. Dev as well as QA environment. That is one main important. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts?
So without our permission, our instances that they're taking to giving to other
It's not about your permission, Jiva. So the thing is, by default, they're going to be aligned this kind of commitment with you. You are going to be before creating the spot instance itself. These people are going to provide the terms and conditions for you. At any point of time, they're going to be taking the spot. So those are
Okay,
things
so
spot
in this
interruptions.
case, we are working something on the dev environment. They can remove at any time, right? It will disconnect
At
the
any
connection.
point of time. That is the call. That's the reason they called as spot interruptions actually. Those are called as spot interruptions.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't think so. Is a QA will be used spot because it's not that if they taken out all the QA people will sit and wait for the application to deploy once again.
No, when you are into EKS actually, now I am talking about the terminology of the EKS actually. When you are into EKS, you can use actually.
Okay.
When you are into a normal bare metal monolithical application, so no, it will not going to be helpful for you.
If it's
But
the
QA is only for the code check, right? They will not any kind of end user will going to be hit your respective application, right? But most of the time, the spot interruptions are only you can get only 5% of interruptions, not for the 100% of interruptions. But you should be tune your respective mind to enable those respective resources actually. Any kind of spot interruptions you're going to
automatically we
do.
should be spin up the containers then.
Yeah, it will spin up. When you are into EKS, it will spin up the containers. That is one how it's going to be happening.
Okay.
When you are into EKS, you can use, but when you are not into EKS, no, you're not going to be used actually. Because I've been working with the production environment where you have been using the respective spot only. For a few of the things for production environment also it's fine actually. You can use. Right? When you are at EKS, you can use because the terminology of the scheduler it work like that actually. Right? It will work like that actually. It will spin up automatically one container in the needed resources, right? Needed resources, it automatically going to spin up. That's how it's going to happen, right? But the thing is, you're not going to get the spot interruptions for 100% actually. You're going to get the spot interruptions 5 to 10% in a day. But 5 to 10% is fine, right? Because you guys are reducing the from $150 to $10 like that, the cost. Like 10% is work fine, right? For QA not for the if suppose there is a huge spot interruptions, you can ideally you guys are going to convert into the on-demand category, right? Ideally you guys are going to convert to the on-demand category. That will going to be discussed in the auto scaling group actually. How to convert from in the middle of the scenario when there is a high spot interruptions, how to convert the spot instances to the on-demand. That will going to be discussed, right?
Okay, got you. Thank you.
So that's
One final question. So the spot instances you are referring, right? It should be like as you told, right? That for example, the Mumbai region have 10,000 of resources only required, but the remaining 15,000 instances called as spot instances, or is a separate, kind of instances while creating only you have to mention spot instances. How we
you
can
need to mention actually.
consider
You
that?
guys need to mention. Yeah, you need to mention. By default, it will consider as an on-demand only. But if you explicitly mention the spot instances, it will create the spot instance only. That I will discuss while creating the spot. Right? I will showcase you the practical. How to create the
Got it.
spot
So based
instances. How to,
so in the 15,000 resources, we have to take it as a spot, correct? So remaining that
yeah, you need to mention.
10,000.
Yeah, you need to mention. So I just given an example. So that is how the spot behavior works. I just given the example, but you need to
My
mention while
question,
creating it.
no, my question, Sumit, so like what I'm referring, so the spot instances part of the 10,000 instances, or it should be like part of the 15,000 instances, where it will
Part of the 15,000 instances.
part of 15,000 instances. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
But in the meanwhile, the on-demand request got increased more than 10,000 to it got increased 15,000. This 15,000 going to be reduced to 10,000 actually.
So basically, the free resources available on the AWS side that we call
They
as
convert
almost spot
this
instances.
respective, they convert into the respective spot instances, because they will going to be get at least the hardware building, at least the power building they use as.
Right.
That's how it's going to be happen. That is the behind the scenes actually. But while creating, you need to mention I need a spot instances that I will showcase in the practice. Right? That is how it's going to be happen. So now here, so we'll enter into the first respective, the concept called key pairs in the EC2 instances. The key pairs are very important. Key pairs, how the key pairs are going to be used, and what is the purpose of key pairs. So basically, to get authenticate to your respective Linux machine, so I'm discussing all, I've discussed this complete section throughout the Linux actually, because you guys have worked 90%, 95% in your real-time environment, only the Linux operating system, not more than that. So Windows, the usage of the Windows only for your desktop actually, not for the real-time production, right? So the authentication for the respective Linux server. Basically, there are two types of authentications in the respective Linux machine actually. The authentication for the Linux server here, right? You have a password-based authentication, right? Password-based authentication here, right? Password-based authentication and the key pair authentication, and the key pair authentication here, key-based authentication. So basically, how the key-base is going to work, that we guys are going to be discussing. Password-based authentication in the sense you guys are providing the username and the password to log in into the respective Linux machine. The password-based authentication here, you guys are using the username and the password for login into the respective server. For login into the respective server. Whereas key-based authentication, these while generating the key pair, it's going to be generate right .pm file. PM stands for privacy email file actually, right? Privacy email file. So as the putty is not going to be recognized the PM file, you need to use puttygen to convert .pm to .ppk actually. You need to use puttygen to convert .pm to .ppk actually. .ppk, right? .pm to .ppk. .pm to .ppk. So now here, this is called your private key. This is called your private key actually. This is called your PPK is called putty private key. Putty private key. Putty private key. And here, you guys are going to be have an right. You guys are going to be have an the public key, which is going to be resides inside your respective EC2 instances. Right, which is going to be hosted inside your respective EC2 instances here. Whenever this private key is going to map to your respective public key, right? Whenever this private key is going to map to your respective public key, right? Whenever this private key is going to map to your respective public key, right? You guys are going to be get authenticated to your respective, right? Whenever this private key is going to map your respective public key, you will get authenticated to your respective EC2 machine. Whenever this private key is not going to map your respective public key, you will not going to get authenticated to your respective machine. That's how it's going to be happen. So now here, how to generate the key pair. Hope you guys have created your account actually. From this day, you guys require your complete AWS account access actually. Right. So here you need a complete AWS account. Hope you guys are already created this one. So you guys are creating on-demand instances today, and you guys are creating the reserved and spot instances in the respective day-to-day, right? Hope you guys have created. Hope you guys have followed my instructions actually.
Created.
So now here I'm selecting the Mumbai. Even you guys selected the Mumbai. So most of the people, I believe that you guys are into the Indian location actually, right? So now here you guys are go with the respective EC2 mission, right? Over the EC2 services. Under the key pair, you guys are going to be having. Yes, Pawan, you can use actually. You can use the same key pair for the multiple instances. So in the real-time environment for the dev QA, you guys are using the same dev QA. For development, you have one key pair. For QA, you have one key pair. And production, you have one key pair. Right? To get authenticate your respective EC2 instances here. So now here, so create a key pair. So select the RSA and select .pem actually. And you can use the development as your name. So this is going to be download only one time, guys. This is not going to be download. So if suppose I want to, if I lost this key, I want this key need to be download again. That is not going to be happen. That is not going to be happen. It will only download one time actually. Right? This is going to be download only one at a time actually. That you guys need to understand. Am I clear on this? So if you lost a key, it gone case. That's why be sure you guys are having the respective key in a safe area. So generally in the real-time environment, the people going to be used to avoid this kind of scenario. The people is going to use one password actually. This is a portal actually. This is a portal, one password portal. Right? This is a portal actually where you guys are going to get. This is a portal actually where you guys are going to get the respective all kind of username and passwords and the key pairs. One password portal. Right? One password portal. Right? This is how it's going to be happen here. Right? So this is one main important thing here. So now here, one password portal you guys are going to be saved here. So now here, let's convert, just install the .pem to .ppk here. .pem to .ppk, you need to convert by using the Puttigen software actually. Right? Puttigen software actually. So this is the Puttigen software where you guys are going to be create here. Right? Go for the download here, download the respective putty here, or you can download the respective Puttigen here. You need to download the Puttigen here. So just download this respective one Puttigen here to get authenticate for your respective, to convert your respective .pem to .ppk here. So go for this one, go for the Puttigen here. So here you have a load the respective one here. So here you need to go to the all files. This is the one which you have downloaded here, right? This is the one you guys have downloaded here. Download this respective one. So load this respective one and save the private key. Save the private key here. Save the private key. Wherever you require, save the respective private key here. Right? Save the respective private key. So that is one main important thing. Right? That is one main important thing here. Am I clear on this? So this is how you guys are going to be convert .pem to .ppk. Right? This is how you guys need to convert .pem to .ppk. Right? This is one main important thing here. So now here, Avinash asked me. So can you log in into the instances? Like, can you log into the instances where I lost my respective private key? Yes, you can log in actually. Yes, you can log in. What you guys need to do is you need to take the AMI and create the new instances. Right? You need to take the AMI and you need to create the new instance actually. You need to create the AMI and you need to create the new instances with the known key. That is one procedure. Or else, if you are good at Linux, you need to you need to create one more public as well as private key. And you need to attach that respective EVS volume to the working instances. And you need to create one more public as well as private key. So the simple answer is take the AMI and create a new EC2 instances. That is how it's going to happen. Generally, SSH keygen. Yeah, you need to use the SSH keygen command to convert .pm to .ppk. So you need to copy the respective public key to your respective EBS volume. Right?
So which user you want me to create this SSH keygen? So which you are
EC2
referring, right?
actually.
All the keys,
EC2 user.
EC2 user.
Yeah, EC2 user.
So we can see once we can set a password, right? So as a EC2 user, as a
yeah, if you are using
super
the
user or
password
something
based
like this, right?
policy, if you are using the password authentication, so generally root password is not going to be shared actually. Password based authentication is
Correct.
an like most of the people use the password based authentication by using LDAP actually. So but you are not using the password based authentication, so yes, you need to follow this scenario, right? Take the AMI and
So we
create
can,
the,
right?
sorry.
So in this case, so if a pass the kind of key loss or some situations, so other for instead of doing all the creating AMI and all, we can set a password to the EC2 users as kind of a difficult password which admin only knows. So we can use
Yeah,
it from that. That's
that
how
is
we can
also
use, right, for
possible
safety.
actually. But the question where Avinash is asking is whenever he lost the key, when you are into a password based authentication, yes, you can do it, right? So that's how it's going to be happen. So these are the two things, right? One is you can directly create the AMI and go with the new key, right? Or else, if you are good at Linux, attach your respective root volume to your working instances and generate a key. Those are the two areas where you guys can able to reset your respective SSH access, right? Reset your respective SSH access. These are the two areas.
So once you attach that root volume to the working disk, and then you have to create a SHFN keygen option that will create a public key, right? So the public key where you have to attach, it has to be attached to in that GUI, or where will it attach?
You need to attach to the .ssh file actually. In that .ssh file,
Correct,
you need to go
correct.
with that.
So I want.
Listen, Jiva. Right? You need to attach to the .ssh folder. Under the .ssh folder, you need to go with that authorize underscore key, and then you need to attach your respective public key, the private key as it is the one which you have generated. With the help of that, you need to enable the SSH. That is how the last. That is a huge procedure. The simple procedure is take the AMI and use the new key. That's it. Right? That's how it's going to happen.
Shanmugh,
So now,
Krishna here. We'll take the at the end of the session doubts if you have anything. So in between, if the flow is missing it, please.
sure. So now here, once you have done with the respective .pm to .ppk conversion by using the puttigen, so let's create an on-demand instances actually. Let's create an on-demand instances. So now here, if you're not choosing the on-demand instances, if you're not at all choosing the on-demand instances, so select the AMI. This is the T2 micro instances where you guys are using the free tier eligibility actually. Okay. This is the free tier eligibility mission where you can get up to 750 hours actually, where you can get 750 hours here. So generally for your respective free tier account, you guys are going to be use, right? Free tier, you guys are going to be use this T2 micro. So now here, as you are into an default VPC, I have not discussed about the VPC section. As you are into a default VPC, right? Right. As you are into a default VPC, you are not using the default actually. You have not your own VPC account. You are using the default VPC, right? You create our own VPC here, and then here you need to enable your public IP address as you are connecting over the internet. But how to connect within the VPN, right? How to connect within the VPN, that I will discuss in the phase 2 of your respective networking section. So what is this capacity reservation instances that I'm going to discuss in the coming section here, how the capacity reservation instances is going to be. So now here, by default, DNS hostname resolution will comes with your respective VPC. So what is DNS hostname, how the DNS host will going to work, that we're going to be discussing the Route 53 section here. So now here, the shutdown behavior should be stopped, not to terminate, right? The shutdown behavior should be stopped, not to terminate here. So if you terminate here, this is going to be shift delete. Whatever the data which is present inside your respective EC2 instances, this is going to be deleted here. And stop hybrid behavior here, hibernate behavior. So what do you mean by hibernate actually? You guys are using in your laptops actually. What does it do? Everyone using the laptop, right? What is the hibernate? Hibernate, what does it do? As soon as hibernate behavior in the sense, let's say suppose my instances had been shut down in the, this is an interrogation. Hibernate behavior in the sense, it will resume the respective stopped processes. It will resume the respective stopped process. Right? It will resume the respective stopped process due to the stopped process is due to, right, any kind of power issues, right? Any kind of power issues or any unintentional shutdowns, right? Unintentionally shutdowns. So this is going to be resume the stopped process due to power issues or unintentional shutdown actually. Right. So now here, this hibernate feature only applicable for the on-demand as well as reserved instances. Reserved instances, right? On-demand and the reserved instances. The hibernate behavior will going to be applicable only for the on-demand and reserved instances. Hibernate behavior is not going to be applicable for the spot instances. Hibernate behavior not going to be applicable for the spot instances. Applicable for the spot instances. Spot instances here. So what does hibernate will do? It will going to be resume the respective stopped process due to the power issues or any kind of unintentional shutdown. So now here enable the termination protection. If a junior guy, you want to stop him to terminate the respective instances. If a junior guy, if you want to stop him respective, right, terminating the respective instances here. If a junior guy want to stop him to terminating the instances because those data are very critical. So you need to use the enable the termination protection policy. So now here the monitoring will going to be there in the CloudWatch, right? The monitoring will going to be there in the CloudWatch here. The CloudWatch is going to help us to monitor the your respective metrics here. To monitor the respective metrics here. This is one main important thing. So now here, tenancy. There are two types of tenancy. I think someone asked this question actually. What do you mean by tenancy here? Basically, there are two tenancies here in the cloud environment, right? Multi-tenancy and the respective single tenancy. Single tenancy actually, culture actually. Multi-tenancy in the sense, the same hardware will going to be useful by the multiple clients. The multi-tenancy meaning here is, so multiple tenancy here is the same hardware will going to be useful by the multiple, the same hardware is going to be useful by the multiple customers. This is called multi-tenancy actually. Single tenancy in the sense, the same hardware will going to be useful for the same hardware will going to be useful for the single tenant actually. Only one customer will going to use the same hardware. These are the two tenancies here. Single customer. This is going to multiple tenancy in this, and this may use by IBM guys, and this may use by the TCS guys, and this may going to be useful for the respective Wipro guys. Right? And a single tenancy here is the this is completely going to be dedicated by the respective TCS guys only. This is completely going to be dedicated by the TCS guys only, not with the everyone. This is completely going to be dedicated by the TCS guys only, not with the everyone. That's how it's going to happen. That's how it's going to happen here. Single tenancy and the multi-tenancy here. So now here you guys are into shared hardware only, right? You guys are into shared hardware. If you are running dedicated instances or land these instances on dedicated host, it will going to be increase your respective billing actually. But as usual, the cloud environment is a completely public cloud you guys are using. There is no point of using this dedicated instances or dedicated host. So in the real time, you guys are going with a run with a hardware, shared hardware instances only, right? Shared hardware instances only. Am I clear on this? What does it do? So this is the meaning for this multi-tenancy and the single tenancy. Single tenancy in the sense, the respective dedicated host or hardware is going to be dedicated to the only one customer. Whereas multi-tenancy in the sense, you have a multiple customers will going to be use the same hardware. Am I clear on this? Someone asked this question on the last class, right? This is the main important thing here. So now here, the credit specification here. The credit specification is applicable only for the T2 and T3 instances, not for all the instances. The credit specification is going to be applicable for the T2 and T3 instances, not for all the instances here. So if you observe that, here, you have credit specifications actually. You have a CPU credits here. Per hour, you have a CPU credits actually. For T2 micro, you have 1 core of CPU and 1 GB of RAM and 6 credits is going to get. Right? 6 credits is going to be get actually. 6 credits is going to get. For this respective one, it's going to get a 6 credits actually. 6 credits is going to get. If you use for 1 hour, it will get 6 credits actually. These credits are going to be useful for you to bump up your respective resources. These credits are going to be useful for you to bump up the respective resources actually. So that means whenever there is a peak utilization of your respective CPU or memory, whenever the peak utilization for your respective CPU and memory, right? These CPU credits are going to be helpful for you. That means your CPU utilization is very high. That means your CPU utilization is very high. These credits are going to be add more CPU for you, so that you guys are going to be get a more throughput. But this CPU credit are going to be applicable for only for your respective T2 and T3 micro. T2 and T3, not for the M5 or R5 or C5 instances. Not for the M5 or R5 or the C5 instances. So this is how it's going to be happening. Right? This is how it's going to be happening. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? Right? This is called CPU credits, and this is only going to be applicable for your professional account, not for your respective free time. The CPU credits, and this is going to be only applicable for your respective T2 and T3 instances. So, what is the file system that I'm going to
Why
discuss?
not for the other application? Why not for other instances? Is there any reason?
No, only this was introduced only in the beginning of AWS actually. But
Okay.
later point of time, they have not given this option to the other instances. In the beginning of AWS, they have only one instance called T2 and T3. And then later point of time, they introduce the instance categories like memory, storage optimized, and other areas like general purpose. Right? This is how it will happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So now here,
So how we can consider as P1, P2 instance?
sorry.
Now we can consider as a P1 and P2 instance, like based on the core.
Yeah, based upon how much core and CPU you need. Right? So now here, this is your root volume. So root volume in this sense, what do you mean by root volume actually? What does it do? You have an EC2 instances, guys, right? This is comes with the respective EC2 instances. This does not having any kind of volume actually. By default, this is a VM. You guys are explicitly attaching a storage environment called 8 GB. Right? Storage called 8 GB here. For your, this is called logical volume, or you call this one as a primary volume. You call this one as a primary volume. Right? You call this one as a primary volume here. Right? You call this one as a primary volume here. So this is the volume here. You can attach, similarly, you can attach your secondary volume as well. You can attach the secondary volume as well. And you can provide the 50 GB as well here, or 100 GB based upon your requirement, or whatever it is, or 500 GB. You can enable the secondary volume as well. Right? You can enable the secondary volume as well. So this is how, this is your storage environment here, which is an 8 GB here. So for Linux, at least you need to give for the 8 GB. For Windows, you need to give at least 30 GB here. I'm giving the 15 GB for my Linux. By default, for Linux, you require 8 GB. And tax here. So what is the purpose of tax? Actually, what does it do? When you purchase a t-shirt or when you purchase any kind of clothing, right, they're going to attach it tax actually. What does it do actually? What does it do?
Gives the pricing information.
Yeah, pricing information, and it will going to be helpful for a barcode, right? It's going to consist of a barcode actually. What does it do? It's going to help you what is your brand and which kind of category it will enable, and what is the manufacturing of your product. All these things is going to be provided in the respective barcode, all the detailed information. Similarly, and also it's going to be helpful for the identification purpose, right? The respective thing is going to be helpful for the identification purpose here. So now here, generally, these are the few tags that you guys need to enable for your EC2 instances for your identification purpose. So name equal to development. This is the development instances. And env equal to, right? Env equal to respective environment equal to development. So this is the development. I'm going to use an app server, development app server, right? I can also give the number for this, and the environment is dev. Next, security groups. Security groups acts like a virtual firewall actually. What does security groups do? Security groups acts like a virtual firewall here. We'll discuss more detail here in the coming section here. Security groups acts like a virtual firewall. virtual firewall. I'm using the term called virtual. This is not physical actually. Virtual firewall here. Now firewall will help to filter incoming and outgoing traffic here, right? To filter incoming and outgoing traffic here. Firewall will help to filter incoming and outgoing traffic. This will discuss more briefly here. At this point of time, security group acts like a virtual firewall. So here SSH listens on port 22. So here SSH listens on port 22 here. SSH listens on port 22 here. So now here SSH listens on port 22. So now here will going to be enabled here review and latch. So by default you have not selected any instances here. By default you have not selected any instances here. It will going to take an on-demand instance for you, right? This is going to take an on-demand instances for you. That is one thing you guys need to understand, right? By default you have not selected any instances. This is going to be taken on-demand for you, right? But how to create the spot instances and how to create the respective result instances, that we're going to be discussing in the coming section, right? So now any questions guys?
While creating the instance, we choose T2 micro, right? You said 750 hours. Is it for single instance or all the instances created for that account?
If you created a 750 instances, if suppose the limit is applicable, that is different story. If you use 1 hour each instances, your 750 hours is going to be completed, right? It depends upon like
Okay.
overall wise it will get for the 750 instances. See, I like questions and giving the answers. Yeah, it might be missing the flow, but I would like to enable this class in a more interaction method. Previously, I used to take online, not online classes, over the classroom trainings. Now, because of this COVID sections, I'm not able to get the respective classroom trainings. Because in the classroom trainings, by seeing the facial expressions of the student, I can get myself actually whether the student getting understanding or not. But here the problem here is you are into a virtual actually. Okay, it's better to ask your questions after 9. So whatever the questions you have in the middle of the section, just make a note and you can ask the questions actually, right? Because it may disturb the others as well actually. It may disturb others as well if you break the flow.
Yeah, understand, but sometimes
Yeah, out of your curiosity,
yeah,
out of the curiosity, the questions are not going to be stopped from your mind. It will be there actually, but I request you guys to hold your curiosity. I know you guys are really interactive, but still, right, it may disturb others, right? So, any questions you'd like to ask me?
okay, thanks.
Right? So
Yeah,
My
one more
question is like, how can we log in with the password? How can we log in with the password instead of like picking a file to any
yeah,
instance?
that I will discuss. That I will discuss by tomorrow. But it is out of our syllabus, but still I will discuss. By tomorrow I will discuss.
Okay.
Even if I'm out of India, I can do my labs with the region as Mumbai, right?
Yeah, you can create, no issues. But I request you, I already updated you, to ask one of your respective colleagues or your friends who are there in India to create the account.
Yeah, done that.
Yeah. So any questions, guys? So take care, guys, because of the cold wind. So everyone is suffering with fevers and all. Even I am suffering with the fever and the cough. So take care, right? Don't go for the outside. Even I'm feeling low today. So see, my class will start at 8 actually. 8 means 8. not 8583. I'm seeing the people are joining at 83. Right? Even though you guys are in virtual, you should join at 7:55 only. Even I'm joining at today. I joined at 7:57. Right? So try to attend the section at 7:55 so that you guys are prepared by yourself to listen to the class at 8. If you guys are joined at 8, it will take 5 more minutes to adjust yourself. Right? That is one thing.
Sure.
Right? 7:55. Tune your mind at 7:55. Can you have some Skype group so that you can discuss it? Yeah, you can use our WhatsApp group. Put it on WhatsApp group. That's why I created. That's why I'm there in the WhatsApp group. Generally, trainers should not there in the WhatsApp group, but I'm going to be there. Even though if you guys are like you can put directly. You can put your questions there. But when I'm in a call or when I'm in an when I'm in respective my own work, because even I'm not a full-time trainer, even I'm a working individual, like the way you guys are. Right? When I'm in busy, I will not going to answer at that moment, but definitely when I saw the message, I will answer. Right? Or suppose some people who already completed that assignment, they can also comment. Right? Suppose Jiva completed that assignment, you know the answer. He can help you. Right? Like the way. But try to be more interactive, guys, so that it will helpful for you, right? And it will helpful for me as well to understand how much you guys need. Right? So how about this thing actually? Have you guys have completed this one? The commands wise you guys have completed the Linux commands. I ask you guys to go with the Linux commands. Okay, what is a command for to check the disk space? Okay, what is the command to check for memory?
Create
So what is the command to check the hidden files?
LSFNA.
Yeah. So Jiva is very sharp actually. Okay, just complete that. I will share you one more document actually for the respect to 2020 because I created few things. Okay, I created the one doc called there is a doc name called API gateway, and also some of the you guys are asked me for the code commit, code deploy, and code pipeline. Even I was very interested to discuss with you guys. So I already created the doc on yesterday. So I'm in the last phase to make it publish. So once that is going to be done, you will get in 3 more documents actually. One is with site-to-site VPN, and second one is with your respective API gateway mechanism with the help of Lambda function. And third one, you will get a step-by-step approach for the code commit, code deploy, and code pipeline. However, this is not going to be useful for your respective AWS solution architect associate level exam, but it definitely helpful for your interview perspective. So try to stretch to listen these topics as well. It will definitely help you guys, right?
Sure.
Right. So any other questions, guys? So from tomorrow onwards, let me tune your mind for 7:55, right? And up to 9:50.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for the time. Take care.
Thank you.